All right. Welcome to the Wee Dram.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to have you
If you're there,
here.
thank you.
Thank you. If you're taking the time, it's always worth thanking you for being here.
Yeah.
And tonight, what are we doing here?
We're doing the Port Askaig, which is I'm super stoked about. It's one that I'd seen around, and it was rare. I saw it down there, and picked it up. So I was kind of stoked about it. Just it has all the makings of Scotch that I would like.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Right.
Yeah. It's an Isla.
So, it's an Isla malt.
Right.
That apparently is a blend of various Islas.
That is disappointing a little bit.
A little bit.
I didn't know that when I bought it.
I know.
I think it should be clearer on there.
Well,
I
yeah.
feel like misled a little bit.
a little bit of, sure, but there's no distillery in Port Askaig.
No.
It's a
Should've
ferry
known.
terminal.
I was there. I should have known.
Yeah. And what they're trying to do is take different Islas, bring them together, and capture the spirit of Isla in one sort of blended, non-age statement whiskey at 55%. Or 55?
Yeah, 55%.
55.
That
So
was appealing to
quite
me
strong,
too.
Quite
Yeah.
strong.
Isn't there another one? It was like, is it Black Barrel? I'm not 100% on this, but another one. I think there's some story about them rolling a cask down the streets of Isla, and then they pick up a little from every distillery, and they make a blend out of that.
Interesting.
I think they do that once a year, but I'm not sure what it was called, and I think it was initiated by Bunnahabhain.
Oh.
But I could be way off.
Yeah.
But there's something that they do, but I don't know. I've never seen it.
The
So maybe this
mythology
is
of
similar,
Isla.
similar to that, right? Maybe
Could be.
Maybe this is it.
Well, and what we know is when we poured it into the glass initially, really has very little color. It's almost like plain Jane. There's no coppers. There's nothing jumping out. Not gold. It's sort of flat looking, very plain. Almost not a clear liquid by any means, but
Yeah. Wow.
but very light in the way it looks, and not a lot of viscosity. It's sort of, you can see the legs in the glass, but it's not.
Oh, you're right.
It doesn't really hang together. It moves, quite fluidly in the glass.
Which again is weird for a 55%.
Yeah, you would think there'd be more body in it, but I know.
It sticks like right around the rim. You can see like there's an edge. There's a clear-cut edge on the top. Do you see that? Like where the Scotch is touched in the top part of the glass as you're rolling it around, there is a clear edge. There's not a lot of legs, but there's like a ridge. It's almost like a mountain ridge. I see. I have some light blasting directly at it, but
Yeah, no,
it is
I've got
interesting.
that
I've never
too.
seen that before.
Yeah.
It hangs up top, all of it. Maybe there's like a layer of salt or something up there that's sort of just sticking, because they do smell a little bit of salt,
Yeah, maybe.
little sea air.
Yeah, definitely ocean in this. But on my nose, I definitely had sort of a dank kind of, foresty, wet forest thing going on.
Yeah, you used one word. Was it rotten?
Well, not
Some
rotten,
rotten,
but
but
sort
decay.
of like a decaying forest, like the the remnants of like trees that have fallen and trees that are growing in sort of a very wet season. Like where it's a dynamic forest. Like where all sorts of things are happening.
Yeah, I smell that.
Yeah,
It's a neat smell.
Well, like I said, there's almost like a licorice for me, like a dark, licorice in there. Like it's like there should be some sort of.
No, I get that. I just got a big whiff of that. I know when someone talks about it, but sometimes that's what you need to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet darkness, like molasses, but not molasses. More
Not
like
that sweet though.
No.
Yeah.
Like a fennel.
A little bit, maybe. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
That would be a licorice thing, right?
Star anise type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fennel.
All right, I'm aching to go in here.
You ready to go?
Yeah, let's try this.
All right.
Wow.
On the front of the tongue?
Everything. I was not expecting it to be that strong. You're talking it like as if it wasn't as... The strength didn't bother you. I taste a lot of strength in there. I taste that alcohol.
Well, give it a couple sips.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll mellow out with me. But it burned everywhere. It actually had quite a nice mouthfeel. Just burning.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Nice
the burn
little
that I
fire.
felt was really in the middle of the front of the tongue. For some reason, and I know that's where I hold it mainly, but as I moved it beyond there too.
That's a good Scotch to play around with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, coming back to this, if that's a blend, then I'm looking forward to trying more of them.
No kidding, eh? It's pretty good.
It has no characteristics that would directly put you towards a blend. Like it doesn't have that blend flavor. It doesn't need ice or it doesn't need water or whatever. It has its own strength playing through the whole thing, and it's very interesting. It is unique.
It is very unique. I mean, and there's like traces of smoke and, like it's definitely happening, but that's not the focus when you're drinking it.
Not at all. Wow, it's got a real peppery business. It's the heat, the fire, the playing around in the mouth like that, but there is a pepperiness to it, and I've always loved the peppery.
I do too. Yeah, I think peppery is a really good descriptor.
That's exciting. Okay, well, even if it is a blend, I'm still sort of happy about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't feel like I need water.
No.
No, I
No,
don't
it's
feel
not
like I need to.
it's not.
We were
like-
worried about that.
Yeah, totally. Like I thought it'd be so strong that I couldn't discern anything, but as long as I sort of take it slowly and surely as I drink it, it seems to cover the palate and like provide quite a bit of flavor, and it's almost more of an experience when you drink it than it is like specific tastes or things that you can choose. Like the experience is like this like whoa, like craziness, and then but yet around it there seems to be like all sorts of sort of subtle delicious things occurring, It's
Yeah.
really interesting.
And I can see that would be why people would get excited about blends if
Yeah.
they tasted like that. The majority of them do not, though.
No.
Right? Well, at least the bottom feeder ones.
Well, the blends that you think about are not like this.
No.
No, this is a special whiskey that they're trying to do something very unique with, and I think they're achieving their goal. I mean, I would like to know more about, the particular whiskeys that they use to make this and the ages of those whiskeys. And just like I say, just by the way it looks, I believe this must be a very young creation, I mean, I have trouble.
I bet you're right. I
You
bet
know.
you that's what it is. It's a bunch of young ones. Maybe everybody tossed out a couple of casks of 3-year-old.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And they put it together and came up with, a bit of a power play.
But it's funny, now that you say that, the Ardbeg connection there, it does have a little Ardbeg-ness going on, doesn't it?
Kind of that deeper smoke, kind of almost like, it's like you're drinking the smoke, liquid smoke, but you can't even almost taste it because it's like so much happening. But then if you stop to think about what you're really tasting, I think it is extremely smoky. I really think that.
Yeah. And it has the last couple times that I drank Ardbeg, I always felt like it had a bit of a licorice aftertone to it too, and I wonder what would that... It's coming out in something.
Yeah.
Whatever that process is they're using. We got to find out what they're doing with this.
I know, it definitely requires a little more research.
Yeah, the coming down from there's no actual distillery there is a bit of...
I know.
Like, oh, right. So, what is it? Where is it made? It's just like Smokehead.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
A mystery. It's crazy to think that you can put this out and people don't even know what it is. I mean, I'm sure people do, but, laymen like ourselves, just drinking it off the shelf, it's more of like, just experience it and try and figure it out for yourselves. We're not going to lay it out there for you. There's no roadmap, that's for sure.
It's a very nice dram. It's a dram that I'm thoroughly enjoying right now.
Yeah, I am too. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Well, it
and
is kind of weird, isn't it? That
Well, because I don't want to ever think that every single one is so amazing, but this I think is quite unique. Because it's so difficult to classify what it is that's going on, It pushes the whole experience out to another level.
it's impressive. It's a blend. I like that.
Yeah.
I gotta know what's in there though. I don't know. Where do you? I guess I'll find out, but I'm not sure where you'd even go to figure that out. Because
No, I know. Well, I
you
guess
can have reviews on it, but maybe they know.
yeah,
a lot of
maybe,
people
but
know
somebody's
they
got to know. Somebody has to. I mean,
Yeah.
when they present all this, it's got to be like some sort of roadmap that's included. We've
no
just gone
clues.
in quite blind on it.
I like that it's a 750 ml. That's cool. But the box, yeah, we were talking real quick about the box. It is kind of a bummer. They didn't really put much effort into it.
No.
But then why should they, I guess?
Brown and plain Jane.
Yeah.
With a little bit of description.
Nothing
There are
on the
some
back.
tasting
There's like
notes
3
on there. I
sides that are
didn't,
oh, are there?
yeah.
On the side?
I think right there.
Oh, yeah, right there.
You'd have to turn that light on.
I can kind of... Oh, it says licorice.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Old-fashioned licorice.
Well, we
Salt water, taffy, fresh oyster shells, and citrus spray.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the
about that.
nose. Okay, palate, here we go. Rich lemon oil with peat smoke, dark chocolate, and crunchy barley sugar. I'm going to talk in the finish is cinnamon spice. Slowly fades to a new flavor of dried apples and pears.
Yeah, I don't
And
get much of
I'm
that.
not getting that either, but I am getting the spice. I guess that's what we're talking
Yeah, the
about. Peppery.
spicy, peppery nature is in there. But I mean, I've been trying the whole time to seek out some sort of fruit or some sort of something. And I keep wanting to pretend it's there, but I really don't taste it.
Giving it a good solid try there. I'm not. Apples and pear, eh?
Yeah, not so much.
Not for me.
No.
Not
But
for
the
me at
smoke is prevalent. The
Mhm.
more I pay attention to the smoke, the more that's there. The peat is sort of like an undertone that kind of plays through the whole thing. But again, who knows? Maybe a
Who
little water
knows?
is in order. Who knows?
Well, we could always try. We did bring it.
Yeah, we certainly did. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind. Let's give it a shot. I only have a
have a-
smidge left. I don't want to wreck it though, because I do enjoy it just
Well,
like
let's just
that.
try a little tiny.
Just let me. I'm going to take another sip here.
just a
A few
little
drops,
drop.
like 3-4 drops.
Yeah.
See, this is why I don't like drinking it with water. Right away, the smell is cut. It doesn't have a nice smell anymore. The smell is still there, but it's very much less than it was before. Everything has been
De-intensified.
Yeah, don't you think? I don't know. It just feels like it's taking away from its nice punchy flavor. It's got flavor there, but don't you like the punch? Like the heat, the pepperiness is gone.
I do.
Not
I would.
100%.
What I'm tasting is something more like Ardbeg now, where it's more of that smoky, deep, dark green and black, just like the label, like that kind of emerging from the sea and forest, So I don't mind it.
So do
I
you
find-
prefer it with the water?
I don't know, but prefer. It's more of just like a different angle, different angle of approach,
So you're getting a 2-for-1 when you put water into things then? Is that what you're telling me?
I suppose
I'm
maybe
still
you're
a purist.
I am too for the most part, but I don't mind that. I don't mind it.
No, I don't mind it either, but again, for me, the smoke is, or the nose has lessened quite a bit.
Yeah.
Feels like most of it's evaporated. And also the flavor. I'm not getting that punchy funness in the mouth anymore, like where it's bouncing all over the place and giving me a nice...
Yeah.
Hot,
I know.
peppery.
Yeah, you're right. It's a little more directed now. I still feel that heat on my tongue though. But I think that's
Could be
just,
from the,
well,
yeah.
55% strong.
And you've had one solid drink
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and now, so it's with you.
Yeah,
Stays
that's
with
right. No, definitely taking it on.
Well, so as we were talking, I just came up with one of my guesses for the next segment.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to have a quick look here.
Yeah.
And I am going to... You have a look too there. Let's just figure this out. Okay, I got my one. Should we always try to have at least two?
I definitely have two.
You have two. Oh, good for
Yeah,
you.
I definitely have two.
All right. Sheesh. Sometimes you feel guilty about choosing certain ones. You're like, I don't know how much is in that, but that would be a good one.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I can see us going with that.
You can? You know which one. My
I know
eyes are
which one,
giving me
yeah.
away.
Totally.
Okay, I've got my two.
Okay, what are your two?
Should I do the slow reveal? No, there's no point. Okay, I think the first one I'll name is the one that we were both thinking of, which would be like the Talisker Storm.
Oh, but we can't open it. Oh, the Storm. Okay, interesting. That wasn't on my
I
list.
wanted to go with the Talisker 10, but I know it's not open. So I'm thinking next best thing.
Oh, what? Talisker 10? Is that on our list?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, wait. We didn't do the Talisker. We've
No,
never
it's
done the
not,
Talisker.
no, it's not on our list.
Is it an open bottle, though? Is that the
No,
same
that's
bottle?
remember the Talisker crashed to the ground and I had to buy another
That's
one.
right.
That one came
We didn't
from
put
Australia.
that on. Oh, that's going to be
I
next
know.
year's. We'll do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
next year's. Okay, so we can't do that. So there, my pick is still good for that. And my other one was Kilhoman.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Neither of those were my picks.
Oh, fascinating.
So,
Lay it on me, brother.
okay. One of my picks was the Brook Laddie, the classic Laddie.
Okay.
The other was the Ardbeg 10.
Yeah, well, actually the Airбag 10 makes a lot of sense. It needs to go, but that's not the main reason. But it is, like we were talking, it's so much
sort of
Ardbeg.
it's like you're drinking the Port Askaig and there's all sorts of hints of Ardbeg 10.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But do you see my Kilhoman link, though? If you had to...
Yeah, but I mean, Kilhoman is sort of like, it's kind of more put together. Like it's like more like in the vein of the great Isla whiskeys, whereas this one's sort of like sneaking around the edges and doing its own thing.
Right.
You know, whereas like I think Kilhoman really fits in with sort of like, you know, like what you would expect from an Isla whiskey. I don't know.
And this one doesn't?
This one does, but it's so different. That's why I like the Classic Laddie, because Classic Laddie was a really high alcohol by
Yeah.
volume, and it sort of like was like really interesting, but it kind of was a letdown. So the Ardbeg 10, in my opinion, seems to me to have the most overlap with this one.
I would agree. But
Yeah.
what about the Storm? Because we were relating it to a Talisker pepperiness.
Yes. Yeah.
It is Isla, though. I
think
mean,
this-
Ardbeg does kind of make more sense, but I think the Storm has... all I'm doing is fighting for a little bit of...
No, and
like
I
you're
could
saying.
kind of see it. I mean, I really enjoyed the Storm. I love that whiskey. But to me, it...
Isn't the Talisker Storm a 45.6?
46.3 or something?
46.3? It's up there, though. It's a little stronger, right? I think all the Storm, or all the Taliskers...
45.8.
45.8, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a little stronger, not much, and nowhere near as compared to the other one. Okay, but yeah, I'm all in with Ardbeg. Makes sense.
It makes some sense, eh?
Comparison Scotch.
Ardbeg 10.
Ardbeg 10 it is.
Comparing with the Port Askaig 110 proof non-age statement.
It's been a long time for this one.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, at least, was this last year's birthday, or was it 2 years ago?
No, it was
I think it
probably...
was last year.
Yeah? Must have been.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a bottle that's lasted for 2 years.
Probably not.
All right, so Ardbeg 10.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's give it a go. On the nose. Like more subtle.
But I'm smelling similar business going on
A
there.
little similar, but a little less intense. A little warmer. A little almost sweeter, but not like it doesn't have sweetness though.
I smell a little bit of sweetness there.
This one's like wilder.
Which one's wilder? The Port Askaig?
Port Askaig, yeah. This one has just the Ardbeg has a little more,
Actually,
like sort of, I wouldn't say easier, just like a little more warmth in it.
I smell more smoke in the Port Askaig.
I know, I kind of do too, which is crazy, because Ardbeg is right up there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, isn't it? I haven't had this for a long time. This will be fun.
I find the Ardbeg to be slightly more inviting, slightly
More refined, like a more upscale smell.
maybe.
I can see that.
I wouldn't. It's not gentle in any way. It's not about that. It's just sort of like a little octave above where the Port Askaig is in terms of, like, it's the same sort of character, but just a slightly nicer way of presenting.
I could see that.
Yeah, the Port Askaig's a little more medicinal, a little more like whipping around and sort of unbridled, whereas this is sort of a touch more in the stable.
Well, when you dig into that one, when you dig into the Ardbeg 10, it's actually got a pretty good nose.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I'm in pretty deep. I'm in the burn zone.
With the Ardbeg,
Yeah, but I like it. All right, it's time.
taste it.
Let's taste
Let's
it.
bring it on.
Wow. There's a back bite of that peat in there.
Yeah, and like the finish is way more. They both have that same burn on the middle of the tongue, which is interesting. But the Ardbeg has a little more flavor. You know, like just a little more discernible flavor. Like it doesn't. It's not lost on
Less
me.
pepper,
Yeah,
more going on.
a little more woody and smoky in a way that's quite nice.
Yeah, it's definitely heavier in the peat. But I really want to. I'm going back to the other one
I
right
know.
now.
You're doing it right now?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. So just let's go back because that's nice. But there's something to be said. I'm wondering. I'm interested to see if this one kind of comes back and bites me a little more. And I'm like, I still like that.
No, there's a total difference. There's like a down note in the Port Askaig where it drives you into like a deeper, darker, wilder, less together place. Like it's like it almost breaks apart when you drink the Port Askaig, whereas the Ardbeg like brings it all together. It's like a completely different experience.
Yeah, the Port Askaig kind of jumps off a cliff right around the middle.
Totally, and it goes almost crazy. It's like wild, whereas the Ardbeg is all drawing into a moment, and the Port Askaig is like the difference. Like it's like they're the same thing for like a little tiny bit. They're just slightly different, and then they just totally go in different places when you drink them, but yet they share similar characteristics. It's very strange to experience, actually. And I find now drinking them together that the Port Askaig doesn't have the finish that the Ardbeg does. Ardbeg is finishing
It's smoother.
and more complex and carries on a little further.
Yeah, and maybe if anything, the Port Askaig has got the strength that's going for it. So you do taste that. It does make the Ardbeg 10 taste a little less punchy. Like if you didn't have that first,
Yeah.
the Ardbeg's probably going to taste a lot more powerful. But it does taste a little more watered down, and that may be
What,
attributing.
the Ardbeg 10?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, and that sort of opens up. It's almost like adding water
Yeah.
to the Askaig. You know, it kind of did that to it.
A little bit. Yeah, it's an interesting point. I would say, though, that the Ardbeg is just a little more, I don't know, for me
It's together. It's more together.
Yeah,
There's-
more together and a little more on the finish, where it does something, whereas the Port Askaig kind of like doesn't do as much as it should on the finish.
Yeah, it's more of an artistic Scotch. It seems like there's been more care and attention put into all the details to make that.
To the Ardbeg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. The other one is kind of going on strength, which makes you wonder.
Well, it makes you wonder about the purpose of blending. Because here we get back to this where it's like, okay, it's really interesting and it's a lot of fun to drink. But, like, where are we going to end up? Or where are we going? Or, like, why are we drinking this? Like, so it's unique and interesting. But now that we drink them together, it's like, well, the Ardbeg pretty much does everything that the Port Askaig does. But it just sort of, like, is
a little better.
like a little better, like just a little, like it kind of like is more satisfying, I suppose, you know?
Right. And why so strong then?
Well, how much?
Like I'm wondering
how
why
strong
did
is
they go
the
strong?
Ardbeg
Like,
10?
Well, it's right down here.
is it?
I think it's a little over, isn't it? It's
43?
more than 43. It's 46.
46, yeah. Well, it's solid.
Yeah, so it's got some strength too. I don't know. It is better. I think it wins. It definitely wins the battle. But the Askaig, you know, without drinking this one, the Askaig is quite good. The other thing to think about is like we haven't ever done the Ardbeg, and I know that some people hold that in a really high regard, and we've never done it, and it's for whatever reason it's never been quite the same to me as our top three. You know, the ones that we can have.
Yeah, right. Ardbeg is never mentioned along with.
But it's close.
It's close.
It's always been close,
very
but
close.
there's something that it's missing. So if would you like? Can an Ardbeg be a 5, or can it like? We'll have to figure it out. But if it's a 4, and this is also a 4.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
well, we're
then-
talking price point. Like,
Well, they're about the
they're
same.
about the same. Yeah.
But it's a blend. There's always that going
I
to
know.
it, right?
Well,
I would
in
rather
that-
drink
in
a
that
single
sense,
malt.
I know. Now
I'm
that
still
looks like it should be more of a 3 because it's just like it's really awesome and very unique and kind of exciting. But when you actually put it up against something, it sort of puts it in its place a little bit, where you see it more as a like a little. It's not gimmicky, but it's like, okay, what are you trying to do? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, what are you really trying to achieve here?
Well,
If
that's
we
the
know
big
that
question.
this is just as good or better, and it's the same price point, and it's from a unique place, and it has a age statement on it, why do I want this?
And it's probably not colored because it's equally as light.
Yeah, good point. Good point. You almost wonder how much Ardbeg is in the Port Askaig.
I bet you there's quite a bit.
Just like you wonder how much is in the Smokehead.
Yeah.
You know, like again, another light whiskey that's very interesting and different, but yet somehow, some ways, sort of like it's not one we're after all the time. You know what I mean?
No.
It's like I want Smokehead. I'd love to try it again. I've had it, you know, probably bought 4 or 5 bottles in my life.
Did you buy the new one? I guess it's changed a little bit now.
Has it?
Yeah, and I think it's changed for the better. It got darker, and I think it got more refined.
Really?
From what I can remember about
When
smoking.
did you try it last?
Of course, my dad bought another one not so long ago, and probably like a month ago. He's still got some, I think. And it's still, it's pleasing. Like what I thought a Smokehead, trailing off a little bit, is that it was a Scotch that had a lot of smoke. Like it Smokehead, it did what it promised. And I always thought that was really cool. But it was harsh. I always said it was a bit harsh,
yeah.
but I didn't mind. It was a good Scotch to drink because it had almost the smokiest that I've ever had. So now, the new version, darker, and I think it's more refined. I think they've smoothed it out, but they've kept the smoke.
Right.
So I thought it was a genius move. They got new
They're trying to
labeling and new
improve it.
bottling and
Yeah, yeah.
everything.
Well, yeah, and they've always had cool. Like it's always looked really cool. I know it's a bit harsh, but with the skull and everything.
Didn't look like a Scotch, did it?
No, it's more like a
Tequila or something.
or like a bourbon of some, you know, something. But let's get back to this.
Yeah.
So I just had another sip of the Port Askaig after
Okay.
enjoying a couple of sips of Ardbeg. And one thing about the finish in the Ardbeg is it has like it moves around and it's like very interesting. And the Port Askaig's more like just a steamroller where it just pounds through, you know, continues on, and it's definitely finishing, but it's not like, it's just more like strength than it is like you know, interesting or complex or dynamic. It's more just like we're just gonna power through all the way, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes that's good, and I'm enjoying it tonight too. It's not that far behind the Ardbeg for me. As
No.
far as just an enjoyable, it's a different experience. You know, it's a little, or you're adding water
Just a touch.
to the Ardbeg.
Nope, to the Port Askaig.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, try that one more time.
I bet you they taste more similar now. It's got to be in there, right?
Less harsh on the finish with a bit of water. I find the water brings out that like thick star anise fennel licorice.
even more.
Yeah, where like it's almost like the way it feels when I drink it.
I don't want to wreck it.
But it's not, I wouldn't say it's any more pleasing. Whereas I find the Ardbeg, the more I drink the Ardbeg, the more I find it pleasing.
Is this your Ardbeg?
Yeah.
You gonna add water to that one?
No.
Why
I don't
not?
think so. Because just I don't feel the need.
Because it feels like it's a complete Scotch. It's
Feels like
delivering.
it's where it needs to be. Yeah, totally. It feels like, you know.
So the Port Askaig doesn't feel like it needs to be.
The Port
Where it
Askaig feels
needs to
like, you know, it's experimental, you know? So, I mean, I guess the only way to look at it is maybe that the Port Askaig is a 4 and the Ardbeg is probably a 5. But it's hard to imagine.
You're gonna
You know.
go there, eh? It's
Well,
like,
I'm
is this
just
the pre-
thinking it's either
You're gonna
that.
pre-
It's just either that or the Ardbeg is a 4 and this is a 3. You know, where it's like you got to push it around a bit because,
Yeah.
you know.
Or they could both be 4s.
Okay, so the reason why it could be a 3 is like it's a blend. You don't know what it is. There's no age statement. There's no point of geography. It's unique. It's interesting. It's dynamic. It's strong, but it's not like it's like you can put a set of characteristics on it in a way that sort of stick. That's kind of the problem I have with, other than this
Yeah, okay.
licorice fennel thing, which is
But
kind
the
of like
pepperiness going down.
peppery.
That's a big deal for me.
Pepperiness with the fennel combined, I guess, is kind of what its jam is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
think
which
that's
is
all it
kind of cool, like because it's
Mhm.
definitely a different thing, but not one now
So
where I'm drinking it more where I'm
two-dimensional
like,
rather than one.
yeah, it's like it'd be an interesting one to talk about, but it's not like you're gonna like constantly be shelling out for it, you know. Whereas like again, you go back to the Ardbeg or the Talisker or the Lefroy or the whichever, and you start going, well, yeah, I'm always gonna have those. You know what I mean? They've proven themselves over time. They're a lovely whiskey, you know.
Yeah, and with the Ardbeg, it's like if you're on a trip and you know you're in a town that doesn't have too many scotches and that's on the shelf and it's a good price, it's a go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never.
Whereas the Port Askaig, I don't know, a little less so, but tasty and different and interesting.
So what do you think? I mean, I guess we're adding the water to it now, but if it was taken down a little bit, do you think that would help? You think
I
you
think
would
so.
enjoy it more?
I
Like,
think so.
If they did the
To be
proper
honest,
job of adding
Like it's
water
less
to it.
steamrollerish and it's more
Yeah.
like more flavorful and tasty a little bit. But you got to be really careful. You really can't overwater these things.
I think I might have.
Slowly but surely is the way to go.
I didn't have much in there, but I didn't want to waste it.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that it's strong Scotch.
Yeah.
And it's a strong Scotch that you can drink without water.
Yeah.
Because I've had a few that you almost can't drink
Yeah,
without
yeah.
water.
I understand. Yeah. Some of the cast strength whiskeys are like you can't drink them without something.
Yeah.
You got to bring them down a little bit.
So this one does a good job at that. Giving
I
you
would
a
agree.
strong product.
Yeah, for
with a
55%,
drinkable. Yeah.
It's drinkable, which is kind of cool.
But it's one of those scotches that you could drink when you're on a camping trip, or you know, if you just wanted to mix it up, you needed something. I don't know, maybe even like after snowboarding or something, you want to have a
Something serious.
yeah,
Yeah.
to warm you up.
Little like pop. Like here we go.
A little sip from the flask. I can see that. Nice, very nice.
Very nice.
But yeah, I would think at the end of the day, that's the Ardbeg that is the victor here.
I
As
think
far
so.
as a more enjoyable, just drinking,
Just-
pour and drink Scotch.
Yeah. Tighter.
Yeah, it's got more.
more delicious. A little notch above.
Yeah. Well, do you want to move on to the next section, Gordy?
Quote of the night.
Some of you say that religion makes people happy. So does whiskey. Clarence Darrow.
I'm not sure who Clarence Darrow is. Do you have any idea?
No, I'm not sure either.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it does. Poor guy. But maybe he's still alive. I don't know. But
We're talking about two different things that touch the spirit in different ways.
touch the spirit.
The human spirit.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Does religion make people happy? I guess it can, for sure. And does whiskey, I guess, does he mean whiskey, the thought of whiskey, or drinking lots of whiskey that makes people happy?
Well,
Or is there a point there where drinking too much whiskey makes people unhappy?
yeah. Well, there's some really interesting points there. I would think I mean, just off the top, when I read that one, it's sort of like the idea that people need community and people need congregation and people need to come together to like reify or reaffirm like who they are within sort of a society. That religion does a good job of calling people together and, you know, sort of presenting a message that reaffirms a certain set of moral values that allows people to like carry on in a certain direction and feels like a certain warmth or happiness or satisfaction from being connected to a message and a group of people. Whereas drinking whiskey independently, it seems like a contradiction almost, but yet I understand what he's trying to say in that sometimes it's about your own individual exploration, and whiskey aids that, where you're thinking or playing music or writing or extending your thinking into a new place. And I really believe that drinking whiskey and sort of getting into that comfortable zone where you break down your own like stresses and thoughts that the world's presenting toward you, and you just get into a creative mode where you like invoke some sort of spiritualism that is different from like a communal spiritualism and turns into like the individual's like own like exploration into themselves and what they can like yield just from being like inspired maybe a little bit from the drink.
Yeah.
You know, and I sort of like, I think he's being cheeky.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, where he's like sort of like challenging like everybody getting together and like, you know, dressing up and heading out to church and singing, you know, songs together and then going out for like breakfast or whatever people do to like, you know, make sure everybody feels like they're a part of something that's special and unique and, you know, progressive and inviting and exciting through like that community thing. And you can just like sometimes hunker down and have a few whiskeys and get some crazy things done. Like, you know, maybe as a, like within a small project or even just as one person exploring their own meditation, you know, of spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't know what he's after, you know, because I don't know who he is.
Right. That would have throw some more context.
I would
on
like
it.
a little context. And I question whether or not he's a cynic, because I'm not out to bash people who join together in a positive way to celebrate a religion, like whatever. I mean, we can get into like, you know, that whole discussion.
But he says makes people happy.
Yeah.
So
it's about happiness?
well, I don't know. It just says makes people happy. That religion makes people happy.
Happy. So we're talking about
whiskey.
happiness.
Yes, right. Just
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We don't have to get into too many levels, but if we bring it back to whiskey, it makes us happy thinking about, you know, trying new whiskey or seeing a new whiskey. It's something fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you happy. Like this one, the Port Askaig made us happy.
Totally.
You know, it's a new whiskey to try, and we're, yeah, bang, it's pretty good. I'd try it again. I don't have no problem with drinking that again. Yeah. So
well, and it's happy in the sense that like it introduced a new perspective. There's like really nothing that's been quite like that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know? And
Totally different.
So it's like a whole new way of looking at how whiskeys can be done. Now we're looking at whiskeys that are blended together to create sort of a, you know, an Isla thing that's not particular to a distillery. It's more of like an attempt to gather together a whole character. And if you think about happiness, which is a really pivotal point of that quote that I kind of missed, does one go to church on Sunday and join together in congregation with one's community to feel uplifted? Is that the purpose? Or is it introspection, where you're like analyzing your life and where you're at and where you feel you need to be in relation to the universe? And if you take that and you think about happiness in terms of drinking, it could be together as a group of people who drink together, and you like unleash or unearth a certain like spirit within a group that is really invigorating and awesome. Sometimes even, again, just independently, you can drink and like get into yourself in a way that might be like a happy thing, like, or a pleasing thing, where it's like I see what like I see myself in this world and I understand what the world's all about, you know?
Mm.
So I find the quote actually really interesting, you know? And it makes me really wonder what he's all about. Like, is he hard on religion and just an atheist, or is he does he know both worlds? Does he
He
know?
might. Yeah, maybe we could do a quick search on him. I think this has got to be the right guy. He was 1857
19th
to
century writer?
Yeah. He was a lawyer?
But he might be. Who knows? He could just be some intellectual.
Yeah,
from
no,
that
he
period.
probably is him. Called a sophisticated country lawyer. Darrow's wit and elegance made him one of the most prominent attorneys and civil libertarians in the nation. Ohio. He was born in Ohio, so he's an American.
He's an American. So when he's talking about whiskey, he might not even be talking about Scotch.
It may or may not hold any bearing on what we're talking about here.
True that.
It's one man's statement, and we're just talking about it. So what does he mean? It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Well, it does matter.
It does matter. It does matter in
so
the
it's
sense
happiness.
that, like, yeah. So what brings you happiness? You know, both, each, a little bit of each.
What do you mean, like religion and whiskey?
Yeah, like, it actually is quite a deep quote, because you have to start thinking about what happiness is.
Right, but then if
And
I look
that's
at
a
it
very
that,
difficult thing to unpack, right?
yes,
Because
but if you're coming from like a religious background, you could say that he is being either tongue-in-cheek or a little facetious about it, right? It's like religion, you know, you could just drink scotch
that's
and get
the
happy
impression
about
I
it,
got
yeah.
from the quote, which
Yeah.
is like, all you fools going off to
Yeah.
church each Sunday.
You get as much excitement out of whiskey.
Yeah, I could easily meet you in the pub for like a 2-hour session, and we could drink, and our happiness would be greater than if like
We
you went
attended
through
a service on Sunday.
getting, you know, everybody's like dragging the children off, everyone gets dressed up, and you all get together, and it's all stressful, and so like, you know, like you have to do it. No, I'm not saying every church service is like that, because some are quite good, but
Sure.
I mean, it's hard to say.
Mhm.
It's like we need him to explain it, you know? But that doesn't mean that we can't
There's
enjoy
some
riffing
validity
off
to it.
that.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I go back to the riffing off, which is like, you know, like I would say that some of my most spiritual, like, engaging experiences have occurred over whiskeys and talk, you know, into the evening. It's probably, for me personally, it's like greater on that side of the scale, and maybe I would be more in line with what he's trying to say. But it's like I also feel compelled to say it's like it's not worth disrespecting the other side of it, you know. Like,
Right, yeah. But it
you
could
know.
be just simply a gathering of people. Maybe he's not equating it to being better. Just saying, you know, you can also get happy if you get together at a service on a Sunday. You could get happy with a group of people. Or if you know, you're doing a Scotch Club. Although it's probably a stretch to think that he's referring to a Scotch Club. But at the same time, it does apply. It does apply right here, right? It still gets you happy.
Yeah, totally.
He's not saying more or less. He's just saying also.
Well, read it again.
Okay, some of you say that religion makes people happy. Some of you say...
Yeah, I know that's a
Yeah,
problem
it's a
right
bit-
there.
yeah, it is a bit
problematic
about,
because
"You
he's sort
fools."
of like he's definitely targeting.
So does whiskey. Like, there could
Yeah.
be an exclamation point after that.
So say it again.
Some of you say that religion makes people happy. So does whiskey. But there's no exclamation point.
Just so does whiskey.
So does whiskey. So does whiskey. It
Pop-
does sound a little tongue-in-cheek, though.
Point.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Yeah.
dot.
Not
like,
not necessarily.
draw your
Not-
own conclusion.
Not according to the
Yeah,
quote,
yeah.
but yeah. There
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
any more.
I think if you read it that way,
Could have been drunk while he said it.
he's drunk from the night before and
Yeah.
couldn't made it to church.
I was pretty happy last night, too.
Yeah.
He slept in a ditch, and he's getting up and seeing all the people coming out of
He's
church.
like, you fools. No. Interesting. Well, I think he's a bit of a atheist, cynic, and he's searching for his own
Right.
salvation
Drowning his
for
sorrows?
lack of a better
Oh
word.
dear, that sounds horrible. We've just made a big turn on this quote.
But it's good. It's good to think about it though, because
No, but there is some truth to it.
yeah, and there's some interesting things to explore. You know, the purpose of drinking. You know, especially as it stands in juxtaposition with religious life and, you know, teetotaling and, you know, being like the drink is wrong, and true salvation and happiness comes from, you know, passages from the Bible and like living the right life versus like somebody who's willing to be intellectually explorative and willing to take some chances and risks and willing to like explore the like.
Right, but that's
The-
to say that religious people aren't, and still, like, you know what I mean? There's a bit of a
Yeah,
fine line there.
I know.
There's
It's
a
almost
stigma-
it's almost as though you're either in or out, or like
Yeah.
it's either like you're drawing a line.
I think that's why
and
we
I
have
think
to
that's
assume
that's
he's probably being a little bit...
yeah, it's problematic because I don't think you have to.
No, I don't
think
either,
You
but
can,
there's
I
always
think
that-
you can be perfectly spiritual and involved in like any religious community.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like
and be
you know,
philosophical.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's the crossover point, right? Like it's like, okay, like, you know, the whole idea that like it's all about miracles and you have to like have faith and
Blind faith.
Right,
Yeah.
blind faith and such. Like it's like, and if you're not, then like we can't have you. Well, I mean that's problematic.
But
too.
come on over to the Church of
Yeah,
Liquor.
yeah, right. Or like you can be on the other side, which is like, oh, we're down the underbelly of society and all that. It's like I don't agree with either of those points. It's like there is a middle ground where you can like be morally upright and still enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. You know,
Yeah.
as long as you know, pay your taxes, get up in the morning, take care of your children, and generally be nice to all the people around you. Well, you're kind of golden ruling it, and you can find happiness in both places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think the point of the quote of the night is to like find a middle ground, but this is definitely interesting because it's sort of like it touches on some kind of cool stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you think a little bit about why you drink and why you might go to church. You know, in equal measures, right?
Yeah. What are you looking for in life?
I don't know. Not too sure.
But sometimes it's just fun to go along the way and drink a little whiskey.
Yeah.
And if you look at it that way, then I would agree.
Yeah, and if whiskey happens to stimulate your conversation and allows you to get in touch with who you are and the people around you, then I think that's a pathway to happiness. You know, like it's certainly a relief, I suppose, or it's inviting and engaging and, you know, nice on a certain level. I'm not sure if that's
nice.
happiness.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah, but
really
it
don't
is.
know.
It's enjoyable. I mean, where do you find happiness? You got to keep going and like along the life. You could name probably several things in your life that you go to that makes me happy. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. There's lots of things, right? So you could say, some people say that religion. I don't know. We have to pick on religion, but you know, say religion makes people happy. So does whiskey, but so does, you know, longboarding.
Yeah, or good
you know,
pancakes.
Yeah, or good pancakes. Right, a good meal. Yeah. A martini before a nice.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's lots of different ways you can put it.
But I think it honestly comes back to understanding what happiness means to you as an individual.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you have to understand that happiness is like not a state of being, it's more of like a moment, you know? It's like a process. It's like anything other.
Yeah.
It's like you're not always going to be happy.
There's
You're
something
gonna-
that's going on that's exciting the brain.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah,
You know, you can
Christmas or whether
Yeah.
it's, you know, whatever floats your boat, but like that your boat won't float. You know what I mean? I think this is what, for me, now it's getting down to what happiness means to me personally, I suppose. But it's like, we're all trying to be happy. Well,
That's the idea.
yeah, well, it's unfortunate because the reality is we're not, you know, set up to be happy all the time.
No.
That's not what humans do.
No.
We have a
it's
range
a big
of
part
emotions.
of life is not being happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Exactly.
more than being happy.
Right. So, I mean, even the quote itself is sort of like, oh, we're all seeking this through religion or whiskey. And it's like, so that means we're seeking something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're all seeking something. But I think that process of learning, developing, changing, growing, and being is sort of our essence. And the more in tune we are with that, the more willing or less irritated or whatever we're going to be, you know, as we go through rough patches or, you know, things that don't feel good or whatever. It's like, it doesn't mean there's anything problematic or troubling about that. It's like, if you accept you can't be happy all the time and that's who we are, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, just breathe it out or whatever, get some sleep or drink some water, do what you got to do, you know, and carry on, right?
Sure.
You know? I mean, what? So we're all going to eventually walk into a golden field and be happy? Like, that's, I don't know, you know? Like, come
Golden
on.
field.
Yeah, like, hello.
Right. Okay, well, that was a good quote.
Very good quote.
It's kind of fun to talk about that, a little more existential.
Yes.
So coming up next, Gordy, we've got the Glenmorangie, how do you say it? Is it Tarlogan?
Tarlogan. It looks that way.
Tarlogan.
Yeah, I mean, we might have to do a little Gaelic searching, but it is spelled T-A-R, Logan.
Yeah.
Tarlogan.
That's
So
you know,
as an
far
Anglo-Saxon,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what we're going to.
Yeah, but some...
Could
you
be
know,
something else.
Could be.
I have liked I believe, is it the 10? They have their 10. Their 10s are standard.
Glenmorangie?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, just a standard. They're delicious.
Not bad though.
Oh, they're
Right? I always
so
remember it
fruity,
being-
tasty, sweet.
I'd drink that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
lovely,
not a
lovely,
bad
lovely.
Scotch. So this is some sort of limited edition thing, but
Travel
it'll be
edition,
fun. Yeah,
yeah.
travel edition. It'll be fun. I mean,
Yeah.
because again, like it's the stable that seems to make the difference in the rest of the scotches.
True that.
It's not going to blow our socks off, though. I don't think, but it might be. It
You
might.
never know.
It might.
You never know. That's
Limited
why you have
editions,
to
they're-
uncork
they're-
the thing.
they're
You gotta uncork it.
twisting
You know,
it up.
Pop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could
see
be.
where it goes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fantastic. Well,
Well,
anyway, that's
enjoyable.
another good night.
Another good night with the Ardbeg and the Port Askaig.
Yeah,
and,
Ardbeg was kind of a nice
no,
touch.
it's all
It was,
good. It's all good.
That's why I didn't fight too hard on the other one because I thought like I'll drink Ardbeg. No problem with that. Okay, well, thanks for
All right.
joining us once again, and
Thank you to all of you.
look forward to the Glenmorangie, the what is it, Tarlogan?
Tarlogan.
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 Here we go.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wee Dram. We should do some vocal exercises.
Vocal exercise.